On today's deck tech, it's the community voted Commander General Tasigur, the Golden Fang.
Tasigur the Golden Fang is a 5/1 black human shaman with base stats of 4 power and 5 toughness. But unlike many other generals that you play in Commander that have just 1 colour in their casting cost, we get to play a further 2 colours. Green and blue as well as black. How, I hear you say? Well, to the new players out there, Tasigur has an ability where you can pay 2 plus a further 2 mana in any combo of green and blues. Use the ability of putting the top 2 cards of your library in your graveyard, then an opponent chooses a long land card from your graveyard and returns it to your hand. This ability gives Tasigur a colour identity of soul type, which is the green, black and blue. Also, Tasigur has a delve mechanic, which means it can manipulate its graveyard and hopefully leave nothing but game-winning, game-helping great cards for your opponents to choose from to put back in your hand. Oh, the decisions will be so hard for them. Command attacks? No problem whatsoever. We can always make our general cheaper to cast by delving away cards that may not be, we might not want them returned to our hands. I can really see why Tasigur was a very popular choice. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of the deck, or corn mince and butternut squash for our vegetarian friends watching. Main aim of the deck, we want to ramp, have lots of graveyard shenanigans, and whack our opponents with a big X spell. So first, let's take a look at our ramp package. It's a mixture of mana dorks and mana rocks and a few staple commander spells. Birds of Paradise will tap for all of our colours. Sakura can be used as a blocker before being sacked and then putting a basic land onto the battlefield tapped. And Sylvan Caryatid being hexproof will stop any of our opponents with that early spot removal because it's hexproof. The turn 1 Soul Ring will always get a glare from everyone sitting around the table, and that move alone can honestly paint a target on your head, funnily enough. We've had various signets in our deck as well, tapping for all of our soul tie colours, and all these can lead potentially into a turn earlier Thran Dynamo or Gilded Lotus. Let's get that ramp. Obviously, the plan of all these is to have as many on the battlefield as we can at one point, ready for those big X spells. But failing that, we're just getting it back from the graveyard at some point. Bajuka Bog, you better stay away. The staples Cultivate, Kodama's Reach and Explosive Vegetation can also help us get lots of land on the battlefield, so we're just not going to be relying on those rocks. Land shenanigans? Yeah, we have a few. One on a creature, Ramanan Excavator, and one as an artifact, Crucible of Worlds, means that we can play lands from our graveyard. You know the deal when you're doing this. You play a fetch land, you get a land, you play the fetch land from the graveyard, get another land, so on, so on, so on. You thin that deck out, you get to find your bombs a lot quicker. Seaborn Muse, a spirit that comes with serious banter, while your opponents obviously allow you to have this fun. This sweet creature will just sit on the battlefield and let us untap all permanents in each player's untapped step. Yes, that's right, each player's. You're going to get to do it over and over again. What does that mean? Well, we can use Tasigur's ability multiple times before it comes back to our turn. Sounds good to me. So we're going to take a first look now at some of the game winners. Game winners part 1, I call this. We have lands aplenty, mana dorks and rocks. What are we going to do with all this juicy potential mana? Apart from using Tasigur's ability many times over, 3 cards sprung to mind. Exsanguinate, Torment of Hailfaire and Villainous Wealth. Let's drain each opponent with a massive life loss with Exsanguinate, and at the same time we can gain lots of life ourselves. And no, there's no sanguine bond in here for the combo. It's just not me, guys and girls. But if you want to put that combo in there and you want to be that player, just chuck it in the 100 and you can just, combo out if you like. What I'd like to do as well is torment our opponents by depleting their board state and hand with a giant Hailfire. If not, they can take the damage, or we can exile X cards from a single opponent's library with a gigantic Villainous Wealth. Then use whatever we can, cast for free to demolish our opponents, if we're lucky of course. We're playing Tasigur, so that means graveyard fun. Sometimes casting one of these big X spells might not be enough for the win, so why not get them back into your hand? Manipulate your graveyard with Tasigur and leave your opponent no choice other than to give you one of the 3 game winners back to your hand. Regrowth, Eternal Witness and Archaeomancer will also make sure you get these X spells back where they belong to. Failing that, we'll just cast a Seasons Pass, get all the multiple cards, including the X spells, back to our hand, and then just basically recast them all again. We have so many ways to reanimate our spells in this deck, it's amazing, from creatures to spells and even artifacts, like Elixir of Immortality and Perpetual Timepiece. Not only do they serve as putting, our great spells back into our library, but protect us from graveyard hate at the same times. It's sometimes best to shuffle them back in, than lose them all over into exile. Yes, I'm talking about you again, Bojuka Bog. Game Winners Part 2. While our X spells are great, being able to get them back is great, but what wouldn't be great is if we don't quite get the job done. So like in all commander builds, you have to have a backup plan. Step up Vraska. Both the Unseen and the Golgari Queen can help us win games just by having a creature do damage to our opponent. We can make an emblem with one, and while the other will make some lethal assassins. Now we want these creatures to get through and do that damage so we can start knocking down our opponents, so a little help from Thassa and a nice sweet land called Rogue's Passage should help clear the way to victory. All these amazing cards that I spoke about, you have to sort your cards. You want to get them coming to you in the order you want, and you want to draw lots of cards. So as I mentioned before, Tasigur lets us play the colours of Sultai, and if you want to draw cards, what do you need? Quite simply, you need blue. The colour of draw, the colour of saying no, the colour of tricks. Mole Drifter, a great EDH staple that could be evoked to draw. River Kelpie, so on theme with the deck. Graveyard Shenanigans will say draw cards. And not forgetting we're going to be running Baby Jace, which can help us go through the deck and leave whatever we may need later in the graveyard ready to cast again. Frantic Search will help with the draw and discard, but we have no fear about what we're getting rid of from our hand. Blue Suns will also be a great big X spell with the amount of ramp that we have in the deck, and then go back to the library ready for us to cast again. We have some great enchantments too, like Search for Azcanta, Sultai Ascendancy and Phyrexian Arena. We have no problem sorting out our cards and drawing whatever we need, finding those game winners. And if someone tries to stop us in our tracks, well, we run blue, right? So what does that mean? That means counter spells. Now, I haven't got a huge amount of counter spells in there, as many as you think I might do being a blue mage, but the OG encounter spell itself is obviously straight in there as an auto include. Negate and disallow, and one of my more recent finds, Void Slime. I love this one. We will just be saying nope. Time for some tutors. Some people like running tutors in their deck, some don't. So if you don't like running tutors, change these cards from other ones. If you want some, inspiration, just let me know in the chat and I'll let you know some ideas to put in there instead of these. But even in, we've got all this assault draw. If anything else fails, we can use the tutors. Like I said before, backup plans are great things. Demonic, Vampiric and Mystical Tutor can all get those important cards, and a personal favourite of mine is Spellseeker. I just love this one. I just love to reanimate it. It's absolutely amazing. The last card to mention in the deck is all about destruction. Destroy, destroy, destroy. And in Sultai we have some greats. Maelstrom Pulse, Putrefy, Pernicious Deed or Golgari Greatsleeve fit straight into the deck. Along with from one of the newer sets, Assassin's Trophy. It's just, it's epic. Mass creature removal in Damnation, and decided to put in a Bontu's Recklessness for 3 mana and early creature wipe from anyone with a speedy star. This will be amazing. Beast Within, another Commander staple in green, along with me, one of the Commander's greatest ever cards, Cyclonic Rift. Bounce it all and see your opponents weep. One final card I'd like to mention about the deck is an all-important land, Besiju Who Shelters All. I mean, just read that card. When you have a deck that revolves mainly around some big X spells, this is Essential City. They won't be countered, they're going to be in there doing the damage they like. So everyone, that was Tasigur the Golden Fang's Commander deck. I really do hope you like it. It was voted for by the community, by yourself. We have so many votes in. We went through the different rounds and this is the one that come out on top. So hopefully I do like, the configuration of the deck that I've put together. There will be a full deck list for you to see below, so make sure you go and check that out for a couple of the cards that maybe I didn't mention. But, this deck is fun. You'll be reanimating, you'll be doing big X spells damage, ramping in, you'll be coming at people with Planeswalkers. It's just going to be coming at all different angles. And you've got an amazing Planeswalker that lets you play the Sultai colours and has a cracking ability that can just basically get stuff back and help you replay them again to win potential games. Anything else you'd like to know about the deck if you're thinking of putting it together, put that in the comments as well. And any future commanders that you we want me to build around, let me know. I've got a new commander deck series coming very, very soon. They're going to be basically based around budget brews, so budget commander decks, and occasionally there will be decks like this where I just don't, work to a constructed budget. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. You lot take care. Don't forget to hit that sub button before you go, and if you could, you get the like button. It all helps the channel. Anyway, my name's Matt, and I'll see you on the next video.